Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading kind of first chapter, text 25. You can repeat after me. Vipadaha santu ta shashvat. Tatra tatra jagat guru. Bhavato darshanam yatsya. Apunar bhavadarshanam. Okay.
Vipada santuta shashvat.
Vipada santuta shashvat.
Tatra jagat guru.
Tatra tatra jagat guru.
Bhavato darshanam yatsya.
Bhavato darshanam yatsya.
Apunar bhavadarshanam.
Apunar bhavadarshanam. Vipada santuta shashvat.
Vipada santuta shashvat.
Tatra tatra jagat guru.
Tatra tatra jagat guru.
Bhavato darshanam yatsya.
Bhavato darshanam yatsya.
Apunar bhavadarshanam.
Apunar bhavadarshanam. Vipada santuta shashvat. Tatra tatra jagat guru. Bhavato darshanam yatsya. Apunar bhavadarshanam.
Vipada santuta shashvat.
Vipada santuta shashvat.
Tatra tatra jagat guru.
Tatra tatra jagat guru.
Bhavato darshanam yatsya.
Bhavato darshanam yatsya.
Apunar bhavadarshanam.
Apunar bhavadarshanam.
Okay, so word to word meaning Vipadaha.
Vipadaha.
Calamities.
Calamities.
Santu.
Santu.
Let there be.
Let there be.
Taha.
Taha.
All.
All.
Shashvat.
Shashvat.
Again and again.
Again and again.
Tatra.
Tatra.
There. There. Tatra. And there. Jagat Guru.
Jagat Guru.
O Lord of the universe. Bhavata. Your. Darshanam. Meeting. Yat. That which. Syat. Is. Apunaha. Not again. Not again. Bhavadarshanam. Seeing repetition of birth and death.
Seeing repetition of birth and death.
Okay. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I wish that all those calamities would happen again and again so that we could see you again and again. For seeing you means that we will no longer see repeated birth and deaths. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Generally, the distressed, the needy, the intelligent, and the inquisitive who perform some pious activities worship or begin to worship the Lord. Others who are thriving on misdeeds only, regardless of status, cannot approach Supreme due to being misled by illusory energy. Therefore, for a pious person, if there is some calamity, there is no alternative than to take shelter of lotus feet of the Lord. Constantly remembering the lotus feet of the Lord means preparing for liberation from birth and death. Therefore, even though there are so many calamities, they are welcome because they give us opportunity to remember the Lord, which means liberation. One who has taken shelter of lotus feet of the Lord, which are accepted as the most suitable boat for crossing the ocean of nescience, can achieve liberation as easy as one leaps over the holes made by the hoofs of a calf. Such persons are meant to reside in the abode of Lord, and they have nothing to do with a place where there is danger in every step. This material world is certified by the Lord in Bhagavad Gita as dangerous place full of calamities. Less intelligent persons prepare to plan prepare plans to adjust those calamities without knowing that the nature of this place is itself full of calamities. They have no information of the abode of Lord, which is full of bliss without trace of calamity. The duty of sane person therefore is to be undisturbed by worldly calamities, which are sure to happen in all circumstances. Suffering all sorts of unavoidable misfortunes, one should make progress in spiritual realization, because that is the mission of human life. Spirit's soul is transcendental to all material calamities. Therefore, the so-called calamities are false. A man may see a tiger swallowing him in a dream, and he may cry for this calamity. Actually, there is no tiger. There is no suffering. It is simply false, simply a case of dreams. In the same way, all calamities of life are said to be dreams. If someone is lucky enough to get in contact with the Lord by devotional service, it is all gain. Contact with the Lord by any one of the 9 devotional services is always a forward step on the path going back to Godhead. On the path going back to Godhead. So many times the word calamity repeated. Okay. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namah. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So this verse is very often quoted by Srila Prabhupada, because this verse is a symptom of love of God. Kunti Maharani is praying. Kunti Maharani is praying Vipada calamities. Prabhupada is again and again repeating this word calamities. And Prabhupada starts his purport by, generally the distressed person, they come to worship Lord. When people are in problems, they come to Krishna. Most of the people. Krishna says in Gita, 4 type of people come to him. So Prabhupada starts his purport by this. Who comes to him? Because he wants to develop his purport to the point where Prabhupada wants to explain that many people come to him, but people who come to him with love, they are the greatest. And Prabhupada says, generally distressed, artho jigyasu artha arthi jnani cha bharata rishava. So artha means distressed, artho, then need of money, they come to Krishna. Some people need money. In India, many people go to God for money, especially in Tirupati, Balaji. And in fact, many people go to Balaji. There's a big temple in South India, Balaji, Tirupati. You are aware of that? People go and people have business contract with Krishna there. So they say him, if you give me double profit, then I'll give you 50% of my profit to you. And they do that. So it's really serious contract with him. And in Tirupati, Balaji, they have a big hundi. You know hundi? Everybody knows. So donation box. It's like a very big, like this altar, this much big. And then people come. So when people promise to Balaji, so Balaji is known for giving money. Actually, he's called Vitta Brahma, who gives. So people get profits, and then people put in those big donation boxes without telling anybody. There's a line, there's a donation box. They come with like 30-40 kilos of gold. They'll put in that. So Tirupati Balaji, every day when they count, every day they get around 10 crores of money. Every day, you can imagine. That's what the money they get. Many people put their babies in that. Yeah, they pray to Balaji, if you give me a baby, 2 babies, 1 I'll give to you. Yeah. And many people who take out the money, they find a baby lying there and he's offered to God. Then he's made a servant there. It's like that. So people come for different things. So the needy, the inquisitive, many inquisitive people come to Krishna consciousness. I remember in colleges when we preach, when I was a college student, we were very interested in cosmology. Many people are, no? Like what is universe, and and you come and directly go to 5th canto and try to understand. So that's inquisitiveness, what's happening here. Many will come to ISKCON for dance. There was so I was reading an account of a Muslim lady, and she went, I think she shifted to America, I think Canada, and she was very sick. And she was going on the road, and somebody told her that if you're getting bored of, there's a free dance here. And she said, free dance? Okay, let's go. And it was a temple, ISKCON temple, and they were dancing, and she became a devotee. So, but Krishna says, Jnani is most dear to me. Person who comes with knowledge, he is most dear to me. And knowledge, according to Bhagavad Gita, means love. Ultimate end of knowledge is love. If you have knowledge about Krishna, and if you don't love him, then this means you don't know him. If you have knowledge about if you have knowledge about a supermodel, and if you're not attracted to her, this means you're just imagining. You have not met her, because they're supposed to be beautiful, no? Beautiful. If you see a beautiful thing and if you're not attracted, then this means it's not beautiful. You don't know how much beauty it has. That's why Krishna says, this is very unique of Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada translates buddhi as devotion. That's very interesting. Prabhupada, in his purports, Prabhupada uses such kind of terms which no one has used. If you read all the commentaries of previous acharyas, Vishwanath, Baladev, Madhva, Ramanuja, on Bhagavatam, Prabhupada uses amazing words like Prabhupada uses business for Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada says it is our business. Or Prabhupada says that for Buddhi Yoga he says Bhakti Yoga. In Bhagavad Gita, we know, 2nd chapter. And why he says? Because he says Buddhi means knowledge. And knowledge leads to enthusiasm to serve him. When enthusiasm becomes 100%, that is love. That is love. That's called love. And in fact, Kunti, she is also praying, Krishna, let all those calamities come to me. Why? She's foolish that she wants to suffer? No. She doesn't want suffering. She wants Krishna. And that's why she's asking for suffering, because she had this experience that when they were suffering, Krishna was with them. All along, like when they were in forest, Krishna used to come and meet them often. And we know that Krishna came and asked Draupadi for food. You all know that pastime? Krishna came. You don't know? It's Mahabharata famous. So the pastime is, in nutshell, is Duryodhana asked Durvasa Muni. You know about this, many rishis, Durvasa has 60,000 rishis. He asked him to go to Pandavas in forest and have a feast, but to actually humiliate them. So Durvasa is like a little angry rishi, so he'll curse them and then gone. So Durvasa went, but then they didn't have anything, but Draupadi had a plate which can produce any amount of food. But if you eat from that, then it's finished, then no food more. So they already finished. Durvasa Muni came, I want food. Draupadi said, okay, you take bath and then come back. And then they remember Krishna. Krishna came and he said, okay, show me the plate. And there was just one grain of rice there, sticking. And he said, okay, give me this. And he took that, and entire universe was satisfied. All Durvasa Muni and those rishis who was taking bath, they started burping, burping. Their stomachs bloated. We are full, and they didn't go back. So by this we know Krishna was meeting them regularly. But now when calamities are over, Krishna is leaving them. So Kunti, by her experience, she can understand that Krishna, Prabhupada says in the last purport, Krishna favors those who are in problems more. And because Krishna favors those who are in problems, and Kunti Maharani wants his favor, and the only way is if she can have calamities, so she is praying for calamities. So we don't want calamities, but we want Krishna. To get Krishna, we can do anything. That is called love. So Rupa Goswami defines love in Nectar of Devotion. Prabhupada translates, and there's a verse for that. Oh, I gave you homework yesterday. I forgot. Really? What was that homework? Oh, that verse. Yeah. What's that verse? Anybody figure it out?
Is it when Krishna is manifesting all the Vishnu Murtis?
No, but what's that verse?
I don't know. I didn't find it.
Okay, fine. Anybody found homework? Okay, tomorrow. Yeah. You should do a homework. What's the point? For Prabhupada said, what is easy to remember, it's easy to forget. What is difficult to remember, that is difficult to forget. If I give you this answer easily, you'll forget it. If you yourself find out, then you'll never forget in your life. So tomorrow. Okay. Anyway, what I was saying, I just forgot my lead. Huh? Yeah, love. What's the definition of love by Prabhupada, the Nectar of Devotion? Anybody can tell? And that's the definition of pure devotion. Anya vilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukuliyena krishnanu shilanam iti bhaktir uttama. 1.11. But what's the definition of love? And Prabhupada and Rupa Goswami writes a beautiful verse. He says, Hirdiyasya marsneya mamta atishayankita bhava sandranatma prema nigadyate. That's the Sanskrit. And Prabhupada translates in Nectar of Devotion it as love has three things, three characteristics. If you want to know whether you have love or not, you should see those three things. We are chanting Hare Krishna, but we have to see whether we are approaching love or not. And we have to check this. Okay, first is Hirdi Yasya Marsneya. First is love melts your heart. Now what's the meaning of melting? Will our shirt going to become wet or what? Nothing is going to happen. Our heart will come out? No. Now what's the meaning of melting? So Prabhupada explains in Bhagavatam the meaning of melting. And there's a verse by Sukadeva Goswami in Bhagavatam. Sukadeva Goswami said, Tad ashmasaram hirdayam vatedam. That's the verse, famous shlok Prabhupada used to quote. And that verse means, Sukadeva Goswami says, people whose heart are full of offenses, they are like stone. Or Sukadeva Goswami says, people who think of Krishna, whose heart, by seeing Krishna, their eyes have tears, their body trembles, but nevertheless they don't want to serve him. And he says, such kind of people, their heart is made of stone. They are irreparable. So the point which Prabhupada explains, melting of heart doesn't mean tears in eyes. That's the point he's coming to that. It's not necessary that when you have tears in your eyes or your body shivers, all these symptoms of love, it appears in you. It's not necessary that your heart is melting. You have symptoms of love, but your heart might be full of stone. That might happen. How it happens? Because of mercy of devotees. It might happen. Sometimes Krishna might give you advertisement, small. You do devotion and you get tears in your heart and your body shivers. It happens to all of us sometimes, no? Sometimes. But that's some shadow. That's due to mercy of devotees. We don't own that. That's not your own tears. That is, some Vaishnava thought about you, gave you blessings, and because of his blessings, Krishna gave you some tears. Okay, this is the advertisement for you. Now, sample. Now work for that. But real symptom of love is melting of heart, means that service attitude in heart. That's the symptom of love first. And Rupa Goswami says, Prabhupada says, when your heart is full of desire to serve him, when your heart plans to serve him, when your heart longs to serve him, whether in this life or next life, whether in material world or spiritual world, then that's the first symptom of love. So if your desire to serve him increases, then you can know you are approaching near love. Okay. And the second symptom is Hirdiyasya Marsneya Mamta Atisha Ankita. And that's the point Kunti Maharani is coming here. Mamta Atisha Ankita means, Mamta, you understand? Mine. So like mothers have Mamta for affection. Affection means you consider Krishna as yours and I'm yours and you're mine. That's the idea. Ami to tumar, tumi to amar. Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, I am yours and you are mine. That is mamta. That's like mother thinks to children, children are her and you are mine and I am yours, like that. So that symptom is symptom of love. Love will produce possessiveness. That Prabhupada translates as mamta atishayam, possessiveness of Lord. You will start thinking Krishna is my dear Lord, not just Lord. And there's a difference between these two, no? So if you ask who is Krishna, if you say Supreme Personality of Godhead, that's the official answer. But for a devotee in love, he'll say he's my Krishna. So that possessiveness will come. He is a master of my master. So that is second symptom. And third is bhava sandhrana atmana. That means sandhrana atmana means condensed emotions. You will have emotions for him. And what kind of emotions? Bhaktivinoda Thakur says emotions are like flower in one of his songs. And when flower blossoms, there are so many fragrance, and emotions are like that. And Krishna's Keshav Swami, he in Chaitanya Charitamrita says, emotions for Lord are like poison. It's a very nice song in Chaitanya Charitamrita Antalila. Emotions for Krishna are like poison. Just like you take poison and it poisons your entire body. Similarly, a small emotion for Krishna, it will pervade all your body, all your senses. So it's interesting to compare love to poison. That's a very interesting analogy. Because both of them kill you. Poison kills your body and love kills your ego. That's Mahaprabhu says in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Beautiful song. You can go in Antalila. Very beautiful song. So that's three symptoms of love. If you are having this, then this means very nice. We are approaching love. Now Kunti, she is in love with Lord. And she has possessiveness for Krishna. And the main symptom of possessiveness, how do we know I have possessiveness for Lord? How do I know that? Main symptom is eagerness to be with Him. Eagerness to see Him. Just like, for example, we are taking darshan of Krishna, Radha Govinda. We are seeing Him, but exactly whether He is seeing us or not, we don't know. That we don't know. Probably He is seeing Prabhupada, He is not seeing us. So that's why He's there, in front of Krishna. So that is the main symptom. You have possessiveness. You want to see Him, you want to be with Him, and the other part is you can't imagine to be without Him. It's both things. And you can't tolerate the thought of being rejected by Him. That is possessiveness in full play. In full play. A thought of rejection will lead to death of a devotee, of a pure devotee. And that happens. Mahaprabhu's Leela, Raghunath Das Goswami, he thought that he was rejected by Krishna, and he thought, let me do suicide, that's all. Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, he went to Vrindavan, and Mahaprabhu left the pastimes. He just disappeared. And he went to Vrindavan with the thought, I'll do suicide, I'll jump from Govardhan and finish my life, that's all. Because without him, what's the point? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, Prabhupada says in one of his lecture, Prabhupada is saying all these things in lecture. This is not hi-fi thing, it's there in Prabhupada. So Prabhupada says, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Krishna, I am absolutely sure you have rejected me. Mahaprabhu says, and he's convinced, and he gives a logic for that. Can you say what's the logic? Prabhupada says in one of his lecture. How do we know Krishna has rejected us? He has rejected all of us. Now you might say, come on, He has rejected you, but not me. How do you know? But Mahaprabhu says that in humility. To think that Krishna has accepted us at this point of time, that's ego. We are absolutely at no platform that Krishna will want to accept us. He has mercifully allowed us to be here with Him, But accepting us, that's another thing. Accepting us as his own dear servant, no chance, not now. He's actually tolerating us. That let me put it like that. We are complete nonsense. We are doing so many things, bad things, but his job is to purify us, so he's tolerating. Okay, come and stay with me. Okay, no problem. So why are we convinced? Why Mahaprabhu is convinced that Krishna has rejected him? So Prabhupada says in one of his Prabhupada says in one of his room conversation and one of his lecture, I think 1975 somewhere, exactly I remember. But that lecture Prabhupada says, Mahaprabhu says that Krishna, you rejected me. Why? Because I am alive. If you would have accepted me as your servant, if I would have got possessiveness for you, if I would have got eagerness to meet you, without you, I would have died. And I am without you. Now I can't see you. You are not with me. And still I am living. And this is a proof you have rejected me. This is a proof I don't have love. And you are not giving me love as gift. Why you are not giving? Because you have rejected me. You don't like me. That's what Mahaprabhu feels like that. And that is why he sang that verse. This verse, Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Shikshashtakam. We sing that. Krishna, I am drowning in ocean of material existence. Please lift me up. The mood here is of rejection. And if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita Leela, chapter 20, on Shikshashtakam, read that. Read that chapter. Very nice. We sing daily Shikshashtakam, but we know the meaning, but we also have to understand the mood behind that. Because when we sing, we won't need the mood. And that Mahaprabhu says, Krishna, please lift me up. Please accept me. So that's the emotions of Kunti. She is feeling the same emotions here. Same emotions when she is speaking this verse. She can't tolerate separation from Krishna. And that's why she is saying, okay Krishna, how can you be with me? And she says Vipadaha. First word, Vipadaha. That, okay, you are with me in sufferings with us. So let those sufferings, Santu. Santu means, Santu comes from the word Santi. You know, in Sanskrit, Santi. So Santi means to be. And Santu means, when you convert Santi into Santu, that means a request.
It's a request?
Yeah, it's a request. Actually, sometimes it's an order. But that's a potential mood, it's a request. So she's requesting, let there be Krishna. She's not just saying let there be, she's praying for that sufferings. She's praying, and Prabhupada says here in the purport that, yeah, she prays for the calamities. Ta Shashvat. So Krishna says, okay, fine. Do you want sufferings now, tomorrow, day after tomorrow? How much suffering you want? And Kunti Maharani says, Taha means all, Shashvat means again and again. Birth after birth, I want these sufferings. Unique prayers now. This shows she is so eager to be with him. This shows that Kunti cannot tolerate separation from him. And there's a Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's a incidence for that. You know that Mahaprabhu was seeing Jagannath behind Garud's thumb, standing behind Garud's thumb, and one old lady came running and she climbed on the shoulder of Mahaprabhu. I don't know how it happened, but it's very difficult to climb on somebody's. There's a sannyasi standing, and you climb on the shoulder. Looks funny. Yeah, and especially tall. Yeah. She just held and climbed, and then suddenly she realized she climbed on the shoulder of Mahaprabhu, and then Mahaprabhu's personal servant. Who was he?
Govinda.
No, he had two servants, personal servant. One was Govinda. Govinda's duty was to cook and make him sleep. But there was one more personal servant. No. Was that Krishna? Krishna? No. That servant used to make the way for Mahaprabhu in Jagannath temple, because Jagannath temple had a lot of crowd. No, his job was to, when Mahaprabhu used to get darshan of Jagannath ji, he used to make the way. Okay, get aside. Mahaprabhu is coming. And security guard. He was a security guard. Govinda was a cook, personal, but there was a security guard. Who was that? Homba. Okay, his name is Makardhwaj. Makardhwaj. Yeah, that's in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And he was very strong built. He was like some 8.5, 9 feet something. He was very strong. And when he used to walk in front of Mahaprabhu, and when he used to walk, people used to give way, and then Mahaprabhu is... Sometimes you can walk in front of Krishna, not just back, to serve him, no? You can lead him. And that was he. So he saw that woman standing on that, and he just pulled her down, What you are doing nonsense is Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu said, no. Mahaprabhu prayed to her, please give me this eagerness to see Jagannath, what you have. I want that. You climbed on my shoulder. You didn't even know what's happening. You just climbed to see Jagannath. Because from Garudstam, if you go inside Jagannath temple, the Garudstam is very far away. From that, you cannot see Jagannath unless you are very tall. There's so many people between you and Jagannath. And there's a very small altar. So Jagannath, half of Jagannath is inside the altar. So it's very difficult. So she climbed and did that. So that eagerness, because of that eagerness to see Krishna, devotee can do anything. That's why Kunti is saying, okay, birth after birth, give me suffering. No problem. I accept that. This is love. And Rupa Goswami defines love. Prabhupada starts a chapter of love with, Rupa Goswami defines love. When a devotee can die for Krishna millions of times without any hesitation, when there are so many causes to break that relationship, but still that relationship doesn't break, that is love. That is called love. Otherwise it's lust. Relationship breaks because of some problem, that was lust. For love cannot break, it cannot be destroyed. So, now what happens is, if in our life some sufferings come, generally people when they start suffering, they first go to Krishna and ask, Krishna, why I am suffering? It's like that. We are doing devotion, we are good boys and girls, and we are sincere, but why we are suffering? But Kunti is saying just the opposite. Kunti is saying, I invite sufferings. Because Kunti knows that these sufferings, actually Prabhupada writes a very nice point. Prabhupada says, if there is some calamity, there is no other alternative than to take shelter of lotus feet of Lord. She knows in suffering, our meditation on Krishna becomes more intense. Is it? When you're happy, your meditation goes down. Like in temple also, like you're so happy. But when some things happen, somebody scolds you or some politics, and you're in pressure, then you start praying to Krishna more. It happens to all of us. So sufferings intensify your devotion, your concentration on Krishna. And that is good, no? We want to focus on Him. We want Him. And that is why Kunti, she's not afraid of suffering. She's afraid of being separated from Krishna. That's more suffering than this. For a devotee, there's no suffering greater than being away from God. No. And that's what Krishna says. You see, now there's a trick here. What Krishna says in Gita. Krishna says, by experiencing higher taste, leave the lower taste. We know that verse, no? You know that verse, all of you? Yeah, was that full? Yeah. Yeah, Vishaya Vinivartante. Yeah, Niraharasya Dehina Vrasvarjam Rasopiyasya Param Drishtva Nivartate. By experiencing higher taste, leave lower taste. Now generally we understand the meaning of this is, by experiencing bliss of Krishna consciousness, leave the taste of material world. But there is one more meaning. By experiencing the higher taste of sufferings, you can leave lower taste of sufferings. You can get taste for sufferings also. That's a good idea. So suffering in separation from Krishna, that's a lot of taste there. And if you experience that taste, you will forget the sufferings of material world. These sufferings will not look big. No? Just Prabhupada quotes that example in Chaitanya Charitamrita. That this Srimati Radharani quotes Mahaprabhu in the mode of Radharani, of one female who was a queen, and then what she did, she fell in love with a washerman, some low grade person. So what she did, she killed her husband, poisoned him, and she ran away with that washerman. And when she ran away with the washerman, they stayed in the night in a forest, and a snake bit that washerman. He also died. And she was nowhere, she killed her husband and now he's dead in forest and what to do? So she thought, I'll do suicide. And she went to do suicide, but she couldn't do suicide. She couldn't die. So she said, I'm so unfortunate. I can't live, I can't die. And then there was a hunter. She saw a hunter. And she married him. What to do, So she was staying with him. And then one day she saw a beautiful person coming on horse and she got attracted. So she said, okay, I'll marry him and leave this hunter. And she left that hunter. She married that beautiful young man. And when they were on the bed, they were talking. And she asked, who are you, tell your history. He said, I am the son of the queen and the king. And that queen was she. She was her mother. And she had relationship with him and she was shocked, what I have done now. And she just ran away. She thought, now I'll do suicide. There's no other way. I can't live. My life is messed up. She ran away, but she was about to jump. That hunter stopped her. He told, come on, just spend your life. She became pregnant by her son. She told, there's a life inside you. So she said, okay, fine, what to do. She was just living like a zombie, just spending her life. So once she went to get the water, in India you go take water on the pots, put on head. So she went, she was coming with the other females on the water pot, and there was a horseman. He came and he just came inside that group of females and all the water pots fell. And all the women started weeping. Her water pots fell and she was laughing. She was saying, come on, you're weeping for such a small thing. If you learn my life history, this is what suffering. If you learn my life, if you listen to my sufferings, you will laugh at it. You will not weep at it. The point which Mahaprabhu is making, that if you experience higher sufferings, you will lose taste for lower sufferings. These kind of sufferings will look like childish. That is why Mahaprabhu said, experience the suffering of separation. That might be suffering, but there is a mellow in that. And that's so once one reporter came to Prabhupada and he said, but Prabhupada, why your photographs are always like this? Or very serious. Your photographs are not like this, like other Swamis, and laughing, and you look very serious. And Prabhupada says, he says, why you're like that? It's like, are you saint or what? Prabhupada says that because you can't understand, you are a rascal, that's why you can't understand what is ecstasy. This is ecstasy. This is suffering and separation. That's what Mahaprabhu came to give us. So if we don't experience that taste of suffering, what actually Kunti is experiencing. Kunti has experienced that. And then all birth, that disease, old age, it will look negligible. Politics, come on. Somebody will tell you something, abuse you. Okay, abuse me once more. What's a big deal? Okay, 3 times more, no problem. Your mind will not get bewildered. And that's what Mahaprabhu came to. Because that's why Kunti is saying, I can get sufferings from millions and millions of life. No problem, I invite any suffering. But I don't invite that suffering of being separated from you. I don't want that. I want to be with you. I want to be with you. And that's why she is the Shashvat Jagadguru. Jagadguru Bhavato Darshanam Yatsyat. So that I can have again your darshanam. I can again see you. And because now we are devoid of sufferings, you are going to Dwarka. And if you go to Dwarka, if other kings, they attack us, again you will come to us. So let all those, actually Kunti is praying, let all those you killed in the battle of Mahabharata, let them live again. Let that war happen again. Now this is interesting, because she's praying for a war, and war is not good, no? It's bloodshed. You kill so many people. But no problem, let that war happen again. Let whatever happen, I want you. That's all. Now you decide what to do. That is pure devotion. Devotee is not afraid of sufferings. And Prabhupada makes a very important point here. It's a very important Upanishadic principle. Duty of sane person, therefore, is to be undisturbed by worldly calamities. And there's a saying in scriptures, people who have taken shelter of three things, of dharma, of achyuta, and of devotees, no matter how much problems they may be, Prabhupada says, they are undisturbed because they don't feel any guilty of doing anything wrong. These three things will guide you always if you are in shelter of these three things. That's why it is said, dharma rakshati rakshata. If you protect religion, religion will protect you. It's a beautiful, beautiful statement. So if you are under guidance of, if you always follow religion, if you are always under guidance of devotees, and if we are always sheltered to achyuta means who never fails in promise, Prabhupada says, then a devotee need not be feeling guilty in any circumstance, need not be feeling disturbed in any circumstance, because he knows he is on the right path. Is it? We feel guilty when we do something wrong. So although externally something wrong happens, but if you are under guidance of these three, you should not be disturbed. And that's what happened with Yudhishthira Maharaj. Yudhishthira Maharaj was guilty, feeling guilty. I killed so many people. Because of me, so many people died in the battlefield, He was a king, and his decision of taking battle. And Krishna consoled him. He couldn't be consoled. So many people consoled. So Krishna told Yudhishthira, go to Bhishma. Right in first canto it will come. Passing away, the next chapter. Go to Bhishma, take instructions from him. And Bhishma said this. This is actually verse by Bhishma, actually what I am quoting. Bhishma said this, if Yudhishthira, you have always been following dharma, and Krishna is your relative and your guide and your friend, and you have always respected brahmanas and devotees, what is the point of feeling guilty that because of you this war happened? Because if you are under shelter of these three things, the responsibility of decision is not yours. It goes to Krishna. That's what Prabhupada is making this point here. You should be undisturbed by worldly calamities. And that can only happen when you're connected with Krishna, with religion, and with devotees. All three. We need all three. We need guidance of all three. But anyway, Krishna says in Gita, Sarv Dharman Paritajya, abandon all religion. But that religion is speculated religions, not religion given by Krishna. So as much as possible, we should follow religious principles. As much as possible. Just like today we'll talk what to do, what not to do in the evening class. So that are religious principles. As much as possible, we should follow. As much as possible, we should follow devotional principles. And as much as possible, we should serve Him. And then we are in perfect guidance. Perfect guidance. Krishna says in Gita, Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi Nivasa Suhit Sharanam. Krishna says, I am the guide. I am the goal. I am the end. And devotee prays to Krishna, Krishna, please guide me. Guide me. So, apunar bhava darshanam. If you see Krishna, Kunti knows, if she can see Krishna, apunar bhava darshanam, she will not see birth and death again. And that, in Bhagavatam, again and again this is coming. Again and again this fact is coming. So there was a devotee, Muchukund. You know Muchukund? He was sleeping in the cave. And Krishna came and then he revealed his form. And Muchukund saw him. And then first statement Muchukund said to Krishna, Krishna, I can see you. This means my birth and death is stopped. He said this. I am convinced of this fact. Otherwise, how can I see you? So that's apunar bhava darshan. If you see Krishna, you don't see birth and death. And Prabhupada gives example of a tiger swallowing him in dream. Now, this is a famous example given in Upanishads. Sometimes in a dream we see our head is cut off. Sometimes you see your head. Sometimes you see in dream you're killed. You see that? Sometimes you're killed. You're shot. You're seeing yourself being killed. Now, you're dead in dream, but still you're observing as live person. So Prabhupada gives this example in Bhagavatam. This is how this material world is. This is how this material world is. We are perceiving ourselves in a wrong way. Just like in dream we think we are dead, but we are not dead. Similarly in this material world we think that we are this body and there's so many problems, but there's no problem. There's no problem actually. So that's why it is said, this world is like a dream. It is said sometimes. So that doesn't mean it's false, but it means that the conceptions are wrong. Just like in dream, this conception is wrong, you're died, no? Similarly, there are misconceptions in this material world. Nothing matters. In dream, whatever is you, when you get up, you say, okay, fine, it's finished. How does it matter, no? It's a trivial thing. Similarly, Prabhupada says, when you become self-realized, everything in your millions and millions of past life, it becomes trivial. When you can see Krishna face to face, everything becomes trivial in front of that. Just like, for example, when we come in front of Krishna, we have a darshan, all problems dissolve. Is it? Just by seeing his deity form. And if you see him live, what is going to happen? Why? Because when you see Krishna, your mind dissolves. When you see Krishna, your mind dissolves. All problems, all anxieties are in your mind. There's no longer mind. There's no longer mind. And one of the so actually in Bhagavatam happens. So Krishna sends Uddhava to Vrindavan, to Radharani gopis to console them. We all know this. So Uddhav goes there, and Uddhav says to gopis, why are you being why are you weeping? You should fix your mind on Krishna, and then you'll be happy. So gopis told Uddhav, you are foolish. You are asking us to fix our mind on Krishna, but we don't have a mind. When Krishna went from Vrindavan, he took our mind with him. And you are asking us to fix a mind. We don't have mind. How should we fix? That's the idea. So when we see Krishna, Krishna will steal our mind. That's why it's called Hari. He'll take our mind. If we don't have mind, no problems. Finish. Everything finish. No problems of any sort. It's your soul and Krishna. Soul and spirit soul. Supreme soul. That's all. There's a direct connection. So that is pure devotion. And this is Kunti Maharani. That is why her prayers are like first in Bhagavatam. So beautiful prayers. There are no prayers parallel to these prayers. Kunti Maharani prayers. Absolutely pure devotion. And Prabhupada ends this purport by contact with the Lord. You can contact with the Lord by any 9 devotional service, and that is always a forward step on path of going back to Godhead. So you can do Shravanam, Kirtanam, which is the most important. So we have to keep in mind that Shravanam and Kirtanam are like water, and you're watering on the seed. And what's that seed? That seed is eagerness to meet Him. And that we have to check by our chanting. Always see how much you want to be with Him. That's the idea. And then so Prabhupada says, first you will develop service attitude, and next you will develop eagerness to meet Him. And that's what we are watering now by our chanting. And Kunti Maharani, Prabhupada ends this purport by that. Kunti Maharani is actually glorifying Him. It's a process of devotional life. And by this, she's increasing her desire. She's nourishing her desire to be with Him. And Krishna wants it to be more. Actually, so sometimes it is called flame, high flame and blazing flame. Rupa Goswami says. Prabhupada translates. So Krishna still leaves Kunti in spite of her prayers. You know why? Because Krishna wants her desire to increase more and more, and there's no end of eagerness to see Him. There's no end. No end. Krishna wants her to become more eager, more eager, more eager. That's why He goes. So He's going from Hastinapur is His mercy. His meeting the devotees is mercy. His going is mercy. And Prabhupada says, Krishna sometimes reciprocates with His devotees by leaving them. That's what He does. So He leaves Kunti Maharani. He reciprocates with the prayers of Kunti. Kunti is praying, Krishna, I want to be with you. Krishna says, okay, you want to be with me? So you should have intense eagerness to be with me. And to develop that intense eagerness, I'll leave you. So I'm fulfilling your desire to be with me. And that's how he's the best person who knows how to reciprocate. Prabhupada says this in his purport. That's Kunti. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Kunti Maharani ki jai. Any questions? I'll finish there. I don't know whether she wants to ask one.
Hare Krishna, thanks for. So sometimes throughout Krishna consciousness, we were told, that these are exemplary prayers, but we're not on that level, so don't pray like that.
Oh, yeah.
You would be warned, don't pray like, Kunti. And and anyway, we shouldn't want to be with Krishna, we should just want to serve him. So, we should be in that mood that, okay, just separation. Don't want to be with Krishna, don't ask Krishna, to be before you, just be in separation. That's the highest thing.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be your mood, although it's such a high mood. Who can really have a mood?
That's true.
And then also we become disturbed when we're even taking shelter, like you were saying, of Krishna and Dharma and devotees. Sometimes devotees become disturbed because they're not fully Krishna conscious.
Yeah, that's true.
Very restless.
That's true. Yeah.
So these points sometimes come up when we hear this.
About this. Yeah. Actually, these are interesting points and deep points and. Yeah, I mean to say, first your question was that, or your point was that we should not pray like Kunti, that we are born like that, and that's true because our prayer is to serve him. Of course, our prayer is not the same as Kunti. We want sufferings. We don't want sufferings. We don't want happiness. We want to serve you. Well, in Kunti's case, Kunti is teaching us that whatever is favorable for a devotional service, you ask him. So for her, in this circumstance, sufferings are favorable. So she is teaching us, don't be eager to accept anything what is favorable for devotional service, even if it is suffering. That's the principle she is teaching. And that's what our prayer is. Krishna, sometimes we hesitate to ask what is favorable to us. We fear that. So Kunti is saying, don't fear that. We should, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, a devotee should immediately accept what is favorable to his devotional life and without hesitation reject what is unfavorable. And that doesn't happen. We hesitate to leave and we fear to accept. And that's the principle which Kunti is teaching us. She is not teaching us that you accept sufferings, but she is teaching us a principle. So when we offer the prayers, same prayers, we are offering the principle. And we are asking for that principle. We are not asking for this content, this particular content. And so that's the first point. We can pray if we understand the principle. And the second point was also important because we are not Krishna consciousness, so sometimes we become disturbed, even though we are following Dharma and devotees and Krishna. So we become disturbed, but at the same time we have to understand that you see, the point is our disturbance, there are 2 points. Our disturbance will disturb Krishna. So that's what I was mentioning. Our greatest service to Krishna is not to become disturbed. That's the highest service what we can do, because we are in a place which is full of disturbance. And Krishna wants us, okay, now your devotion, your service will be shown to me that by your being happy in my service. And if you don't become disturbed, that's what I want. Then Krishna becomes happy, no? So if you're in happy condition and then you're happy, there's no credit. But if we are full of disturbances all around and still we are happy, then that's a credit. That's why Krishna has put us in this place, into so many sufferings, to actually express our love to him by not being disturbed in such a condition. And so by thinking this point, this is my service not to get disturbed. No matter if some disturbance comes, the devotee is able to get over this, because if I become disappointed, Krishna will become sad. I should not make him sad. So that they are able to overcome. But new devotees, it doesn't happen like that. I can understand. It's difficult even to get this point. So, what to do in that case if mind is disturbed? In that case, we can always go to some devotees who have association. That's the point. What you can do? Maybe precaution is better than cure. Take all precautions so that we don't get disturbed. Yeah, precaution is better than cure.
Thank you, Krishna. That's very nice. A lot of nice points. I guess I just wanted to ask if this concept of separation, if it also is, taking place in our relationship with Krishna while we're in the material world. Of course, in the idea of God, I don't like the material world, but in our process of developing our Krishna, or advancing in devotion, in our devotional service, in our shortcomings in performing devotional service, can we correlate like that with Krishna removing himself from us, taking away some kind of taste in the holy name?
No.
Or no, that's only on a pure level.
No, what's your? I can't really catch your question.
You don't understand?
No, can you just put it in one statement, because I can't really catch it. So are you saying? Okay, fine. What I understand is, are you saying that at our level, how do we feel separation? That's what your question is? No, are you saying that at our level of devotion, how should we feel separation? That's your question?
No, that's not.
Okay.
At our level of devotion, is Krishna, in the spiritual world, Krishna is using separation as a way to develop, a deeper love between his devotees. Is that going on here?
Yeah, it's same thing is going on here. Absolutely same thing. Even with pure devotees. So Krishna leaves Pandavas. You see Krishna pastimes. He goes to Hastinapur. He leaves Vrindavan. Gopis. 100 years they are not there with him. Why? To increase the intensity of love. Now you might ask, they are already pure devotees, but love has no end. It can increase and increase. It's infinite like Krishna. So, and Krishna disappears from Ras Leela. We know that. To increase their love. And then Krishna is now leaving Hastinapur and going to Dwarka to increase love of Pandavas. And then Krishna leaves Dwarka to increase love of Dwarkavasi. He's always doing that. Because love is not just separation. Love is separation and meeting both.
When I'm performing sadhana bhakti, is that going on? Can you give examples of that?
As sadhana bhakti, Krishna leaving us?
Yeah.
Oh. Yes, sometimes, one point. Even now we can feel separation is not. It is very natural to feel separation. It's a reality. We are separated from Krishna now. That's all. He's there now. Is it? Prabhupada says to feeling separation is very natural. He's there in Golok. We are here. That's all. Even though we are standing in front of Krishna, we are not actually united with him, because we have accepted him, but he has not accepted us fully. So we are separate, and that is why when Mahaprabhu used to have darshan of Jagannath, he used to weep. He's there right in front of him, but he's weeping because he feels that I'm separated. See, separation doesn't mean physical separation also. Separation also means you might be with somebody, but if your minds are not matching, you're separated, isn't it? We don't have a relationship, you're separated. So in sadhana bhakti, we can understand we are away from Golok, very much away. In sadhana bhakti, we can understand we are still Krishna is not accepted as personal servant at the level of mind. And sometimes Krishna separates us by separating his bliss from us. His bliss and Krishna is one, no? So Krishna takes away our bliss. That happens, no? Sometimes we become blissful, sometimes we are out of bliss. Who takes that bliss away? Maya cannot do that. Maya cannot touch bliss, because Maya is darkness, Krishna is light. Bliss is light. Darkness cannot remove light. So who does that? That Krishna does that. Sometimes we are totally under supervision of Krishna, until and unless we don't do foolishness. If we willfully do something wrong, then we go under domain of Maya. But until and unless we are not doing something willfully wrong, still, even no matter how much you're sincere, sometimes you don't feel that ecstasy, no? Is it? It happens. We are sincere, we are doing everything nice, nothing wrong, no offense. But our devotion goes like this. So Krishna sometimes intensifies your bliss, sometimes reduces your bliss, so that you can intensify your sadhana. Okay, Krishna says, now it's time to work more, to advance more. And that's what you're talking? So that's what Krishna is doing. He's separating not himself, but his bliss from you. We are already separate from Krishna, but he comes near us in form of bliss, and he separates that. And then we think, oh my God, my bliss is gone. I want that bliss. And then you do more sadhana. So that's what he does with devotees. He might be doing so many things. He has so many plans, so many strategies. We don't know what he's doing. Yeah.
Keep going.
But whatever he does, that's merciful.
It's related in the sense of Krishna takes away the bliss, and then I'm like, where's the taste? I need some taste, you know. And then instead, I go out and I take shelter of Maya.
Yeah.
You know, so it's Krishna knows where we're at, and it's like, if I'm taking shelter of Maya and not taking shelter of him, then I should be taking shelter.
No. I understand your point. Krishna will not take that much taste that you go in Maya. He knows how to fine tune. He will take that much taste that you're still with devotees, and you get enthused to go higher. But if we leave Krishna and going to Maya, then this means that Krishna is not doing, that Maya is doing. We have done something wrong. We have done something willfully wrong. We have willfully thought something or done something which is not to be done. And we immediately come under purview of Maya. He will not allow us to go to Maya. But he will increase a signal, decrease a signal. And he knows how much to do. Just so much that you don't leave the temple. And this happens to all of us, no? We sometimes become bored. It's not the same interest always, no? Is it? But still we keep on going. And when interest loses, then we say, okay, let's chant now. Today I'll chant, my taste has reduced. And then you get nice taste. So that's he is doing that fluctuation. He knows how to fluctuate that.
Can't we also understand that even if, because Maya is an energy of the Lord that's meant to bring us back to Krishna ultimately. That's why this material world exists.
Yeah.
The living entities can try and execute their desire to enjoy separately from Krishna.
Yeah.
Maya is there to say, well, no, actually this won't work. So then it's actually, Maya is also trying to get us.
Actually, you're right. Maya has two meanings. Prabhupada says, one is illusion, another is mercy. Another meaning of Maya is mercy. Now, Maya is actually very merciful to us. That's division of pure devotee. You know why? Because you see, if suppose you want to be a fighter, boxer. Now, so suppose if you want to go in world championship, you have to practice. So to practice, you need an opponent. You need a real opponent. You do not need a fake opponent. And so you need an opponent who is ready to kill you, and then you fight, and then you become strong. So Maya is like an opponent. She's making us strong. She's training us how to be very strong in mind and determined. And that's how she serves Krishna. By training us like that. And she's giving us suffering so that, and Kunti Maharani, so within suffering, how can we learn to be happy? So she'll intensify the suffering. And by Krishna's mercy, we will keep on fighting and we'll stay happy and jubilant, and then we'll become perfect. We'll win the world championship and go back to Krishna. That's her mercy.
Because we also hear to that Krishna may not have accepted us, and I guess it just depends on how we understand that. If I'm like you gave the example of Mahaprabhu, saying if I actually loved Krishna, I would leave my body.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, we also hear that Krishna is actually more eager for us and more anxious.
Yeah. Okay. I understand your point.
So just the idea that it's not that I may do something wrong or I willfully commit some sinful activity, and then Krishna just kicks me out completely, but he kicks us out to the trainer, to Maya Devi, in order to make us want Krishna more, especially if we're someone who's a devotee.
Actually, you know what? Acceptance is also a big thing. I mean, Krishna is accepted us officially, but not with his heart. No, he has accepted Prabhupada with his heart, us officially. So acceptance is also levels, So but Mahaprabhu is saying about rejection, that he's talking at the level of heart, not at official level. That's not the talk of official level. So we are still at official level, and we can still understand Krishna has accepted us and not accepted us, both we should have in mind. Officially we are there, but heart we are not there.
Because if we accepted Prabhupada accepted us.
Yeah, Prabhupada accepted us. But Prabhupada accepted us with love, not officially.
Yeah.
But then we have to follow his instructions to be accepted by love. We have to follow his instructions. That's what Prabhupada says. If you follow my instructions, then become perfect. And that's why we say devotees are more merciful. Even though we are like complete nonsense, they will accept with heart. Because if he doesn't accept with heart, we can't accept his instructions. And then when we follow, then there's an eternal connection. Like that. Okay. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.